How's it going, guys? The new massive Broken Arrow patch is finally out, or massive by this game's standards. It's probably the biggest patch this game has seen so far. It's been out for about 4 months, I think. This is update 1.0.11, which, among other things, is adding a proper anti-cheat, if you can believe that. So let's get on with it. We are pleased to present you with Update 1.0.11, which brings a number of improvements and changes designed to improve your gaming experience. In this patch, we have focused on strengthening protection against unfair players and improving the stability of the network infrastructure. So here we've got a nice propaganda image there, so let's just zoom our eyeballs in on this, drinking that glorious marketing. So, there's a new vehicle type, so it looks like a Sea Whiz but differenter. So gameplay and balance improvements, faction rebalance based on win rates analysis. Yeah, basically Russia's been stronger since the game came out. Let's see what they've done about that. Terminal guidance missiles not reacquiring fixed. Okay, so that's interesting actually. So there's a lot of planes in this game that have terminal guidance weapons, terminal guidance missiles. I should probably launch the game. This is the part where you get to see when the last time I played Broken Arrow was. So yeah, we'll start updating that. And tank's highest side armor values reduced. So they've reduced tank side armor, so that should hopefully make the tanks easier to kill with stuff like AT, infantry AT, but it makes it can make the game more frustrating because your tank turns and then it dies. And so if your tank, because the pathing in this game is kind of bad, and there's lots of like lag and stuff, desyncs and so on. So if your tank sort of gets stuck on something, or if it just decides to turn the wrong way, which I've certainly seen happen, then it's going to die more often because the front armor is going to be more different to the side armor. So that can actually be a bit of a problem, but we'll have to see how it plays out, right? And then the new unit customization, we've got a Centurion C RAM, which is one of these, which I suppose is different to the C RAM where it's just the letter C. Oh, I guess that might have been the C might have been from Centurion. Anyway, I'm sure we'll find out what that is later on in the video. So easy anti-cheat integration. So ever since this game was first announced, I said they should add easy anti-cheat. And I said it over and over and over and over again. And a lot of you watching this will know that I said it over and over again. So it's nice that they finally listened to me 4 months in. Where's my commission, right? That was my idea. Do I get royalties on that? Anyway, easy anti-cheat is free, so it's not actually that good. It's just I said they should add it because it's easy to add. That's why it's called that. And it's free. So I said, like, why not add this? It would be a nice quick win, and they finally put it in, so isn't that wonderful? Addition of easy anti-cheat, external anti-cheat service to our in-house system. So, easy anti-cheat. Improved detection methods for cheaters, increased responsiveness to new cheats, and now they are avoiding false positive. I mean, this is all very vague, sort of marketing, wishy-washy stuff. We'll see if there are fewer cheaters or not, right? Launch option without anti-cheat for mods and trainers. Yeah, so that we'll get on with that. They did mention that further down. That's pretty cool. And there's also a Halloween event. So it is Halloween tomorrow. It's the 30th when I'm recording this. Who knows when you're watching it? And presumably the 31st or the 30th. So happy Halloween if you believe in that stuff. If you believe in chocolate and what's there to believe in, I suppose. I don't know. I think it does. I think it did originally have like a, because it's like All Hallows Eve or something. I think there's something to believe in there. I just don't know what it is. Anyway, there's a zombie mode. So there's a zombie mode. There's a zombie mode. There's a zombie mode. So that's that propaganda finish. Now we can read some more propaganda. So let's start off with the anti-cheat. Since the release, one of the most discussed topics in the community has been the issue of cheaters, yet there's absolutely bloody loads of them. The fight against unfair play has been ongoing since the very first days of the game's release, and continues to this day. During this time, our own anti-cheat system has been continuously improved, and has significantly reduced the number of cheaters. However, we have come to the conclusion that this is not enough for truly reliable protection and the development of esports. It was nowhere near enough. So basically, they had no way of detecting any cheat that you couldn't actually see happening. The way they were banning people is you had to email them with video footage of people cheating and the logs, and then they would say, "Oh yes, that guy is clearly cheating," and ban him. So if, for things like just giving all your units 10% more ECM so that they've got a chance more of a chance for the enemy to miss, or giving yourself 10% more income and stuff like that, they would never catch it because they couldn't. They had no way of doing it. So there you go. They've added easy anti-cheat, which should hopefully help. It depends on the implementation, of course. In update 1.0.11, an additional anti-cheat system, Easy Anti-Cheat, has been added to the game. It will work in conjunction with our internal cheat detection system, creating a multi-layer barrier against cheating attempts. Great. So this is the splash screen that must show up when you launch the game. That's how Easy Anti-Cheat games tend to work. And they've added this, which is very important. So in Master Chief Collection, if you ever played that, you can launch it with the anti-cheat disabled. And that's important because if you want to use mods, the anti-cheat's going to ban you if you launch with the anti-cheat on. So they've done the same here. Now, when launching Broken Arrow, players will be able to choose the option that is fit them. Haha, finally found one. Finally found one. Ever since I started pointing out the spelling mistakes, they really upped to their game. But look, wow, we finally caught them out. Doesn't really matter. Anyway. The option that is fit them, launch offline without easy anti-cheat, and yeah, it's for mods, and you can just hack the game to make it easier. Launch Broken Arrow with easy anti-cheat, which will allow you to play multiplayer. It works exactly the same way in the Master Chef collection. We hope that these changes will minimize the use of cheats and prevent unfair players from ruining the enjoyment of the battles for those who play by the rules. Victory should be determined by skill, strategy, and teamwork, not by third-party software. It depends on their implementation. There will still be cheaters. If you want games without cheaters, you need to play right now, as soon as you can, because the cheaters will get this and they will begin finding ways around it. So you've got a couple days. When the game first came out, I saw cheaters within the first 24 hours of playing. So you've got a limited window. You got to launch Broken Arrow right now. Well, they should be paying me. Halloween special gift. The most downloaded scenario of the workshop is a mode where you defend against zombies made by joining player. So this is it, Zombie Defense Snow Castle, and it has had 227 subscribers. That's the most. Really? Sort by most popular all time. Yeah, Zombie Defense, and I mean it's what? I mean it's just not correct. This is not correct. This is the most downloaded scenario. Yeah, look at that. 39,700. What? Are they. Is this the right one? 227. What's going on? I mean, maybe they meant this one. Ah, yeah, they meant this one. Okay. They just linked the wrong one. So, anyway, 54,223, which is more than this. So there you go. Yeah, they just linked the wrong one. My bad. Well, why is it my... It's not my bad. Anyway, this scenario uses regular units of the game to represent the zombies. Since Halloween is not far away, we've decided to help with the creation of a real zombie mode by adding zombie units to the game. So that's cool. Can't fault them for that. That's interesting. In case you don't have access to the workshop, the only reason you wouldn't have access to the workshop is if you've pirated the game. So, yeah. We have also created our own zombie scenario, which will be integrated into the game. Or if you don't have an internet connection, in which case you can't download this update anyway. It can be played from 1 to 4 players in co-op with a specific visual and sound ambient for the maps. Shouldn't that be ambiance, not ambient? Walkers, so, okay, slow zombies. Runners, fast zombies. Smokers, NHS draining zombies. Spitters, chav zombies, boomers, old zombies, and throwers, which yeah, they throw cars at you. That's pretty cool. And then you got the popo, and then some civilians, and then the SUV to transport the civilians. Support of server-side based network architecture. Yeah, so this is the other reason why there's so many cheaters. The way the game is structured is that the client can just tell everybody, yeah, I should have tank with infinite fire rate, and it just works. Whereas in most games, if the client says I should have a tank with infinite fire rate, the server will say no, you shouldn't. Also, I'm banning you. So, yeah, the way they programmed it was very wrong. We covered that in previous videos. I wasn't the only person to bring this up. We're pleased to announce that this update introduces support for server-side network architecture. This is an important technical improvement that will not have a noticeable impact on gameplay at the moment, but will serve as a solid foundation for future improvements. Yeah, so they're slowly building out, they're slowly moving the network architecture from client-based to server-based. So, I mean, honestly, this is an early access game. I think this time next year the game will probably be quite good. And by then you can get it for half price. So, yeah, they should have released this into early access, but then fewer people would buy it. So it's easier to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission, right? And that's all they've been doing ever since they got your money. Oh, it's LDE. That's all they've been doing since they got your money. They sold a massive amount, and you know, it's like 50% positive. That's going up actually. It was 40 before, so it's clearly going up. There you go. Yeah, we spoke about this. So I said if they add easy anti-cheat, it might make it impossible to play on Linux. And somebody commented in the comments, no, it won't. Well, it looks like I was right. Yeah. Where's my apology? Where's my commission? I mean, being right is tough, you know. Nobody ever compliments you. Anyway, we plan to transfer more and more elements of the game logic under server control. Yeah, so they're basically rebuilding the whole multiplayer part of the game on the back end. So that's going to take them a while. This approach will improve the stability of online play, reduce the risk of desynchronization issues that are often mistaken for cheating, even though they are not. Yeah, so they this should be an and really. Anyway, they say this every time. They're like, listen, half the time you think people are cheating, they're not cheating. It's just our game is programmed so badly that it gives certain players cheat-like abilities. That's not an improvement. That's worse. Anyway, it will also significantly limit the possibilities for actual cheating, so that's basically what we just covered. This transition may increase server load. The servers have been absolutely shagged. Once every couple days, they just seem to completely break and people just can't play for a few hours. It's the sort of thing that I haven't done a video on because, I mean, what is there to say? Once every day for a few hours the server breaks, well, where's the proof? Well, people can't play. If you were playing the game, you'd know. Then you're going to say, yeah, but you last launched it October 7th. So, anyway, this transition may increase server load, so our task will be to find the optimal balance between performance stability and quality. Work in this direction is already underway, and we will carefully monitor feedback to ensure a comfortable gaming experience for players. There's no full stop there. Mission editor improvements. So yeah, there is a mission editor, but there's very few missions being made. But as we recently learned, you know, this one has 227 subscribers, and this one has 39,000. So you know, there is a market, right? There's not even 39,000 subscribers on this channel, so you should subscribe. Haha, haha. 54,000 on this one. This is so sad. Can we get 54,000 subscriptions? I should probably thank the generous channel joiners generously joining the channel. They're the ones making all this possible. This is my sole source of income. So if the money runs out, I have to go get a real job, and then the video stopped, basically. So they get their names on the screen, right? They also get their videos early, and they get members exclusive videos. So there's quite a lot of those now, like upwards of 80. and they get the videos early. So great way to support the channel. If you don't want to do that, please just like and comment and subscribe. It makes YouTube recommend the videos to more people. Now, if you'll excuse me, I just need to write down that I did my desperate shilling attempt at 15 minutes of recording, so I know to put in the names on the edit. It's worth remembering that Broken Arrow features a fully functional scenario editor, allowing players to create their own missions and in-game situations. So yeah, I guess they mustn't have had many people use that. But, 50,000 subscriptions is not bad. Thanks to the creativity of our community, many player-made works have already been created, gaining well-deserved popularity in Steam Workshop. We truly value your involvement and are inspired by the way you help develop the game alongside us. In this update, alongside more fundamental changes, we also focused on the editor. A number of improvements and fixes have been implemented to enhance the usability and stability. We aimed to make the content creation process more intuitive and comfortable for both newcomers and experienced players. Significant enhancements have also been made to the help section. The reference information is now much more detailed and accessible, making it easier to get started with the editor's tools. So, yeah, I don't know too much about this. I know how hard it is to make a map editor. I'm currently making one for my video game. And I know that some people were having problems with the mission editor, but I don't know what they were, so I can't comment too much on that. Patch 1.0.10 balance analysis. So this is the previous one. After analyzing the data collected, we have drawn the following conclusions regarding past balance changes. The positive. US specs are now correctly balanced between each other in terms of win rate and popularity. We have more and more tools available to measure the evolution of the balance over time and depending on player elo, filters per map, per combination of specs, etc. Yeah, so basically they didn't even know how to get the win rate per spec played when the game first came out because that information isn't actually recorded in the logs. What people were doing they were manually checking the logs to see if if player 1 buys a T14 Armata and that funky cruise missile launching helicopter, then they'll know they're playing Russian armored coastal, right? And that's how they were figuring it out. So basically, they actually contacted. There was a South Korean guy who was doing all the graphs and stuff, showing how Russia's just better all the time. And apparently, they contacted him, and now they're working with him to understand their own game, which is interesting. The negatives: the win rate discrepancy between the US and Russian faction didn't reduce despite our efforts in this direction. Your efforts in this direction being nerfing the US over and over again. Well, let's remove all the F-35s. Let's nerf SOF over and over. Yeah, that'll help the Russians being stronger all the time. The disparity of popularity within the Russian specializations is high, with the Guard Tank Brigade becoming even more popular to the detriment of the Mechanized Brigade, which was already the least favored. Yeah, so this is the barbarous spammer. So it's like you basically always have to bring that. And then, yeah, mech is not as cool. At the highest tier, mech is used a lot because if you're playing against America, they can't they have to their best tanks have to 3-shot your dumb IFVs, and so people running mech at the highest level, but certainly Guard Tank Brigade just always useful. Spam Barbaris, spam Armata. One factor explaining the US win rate staying low was the appearance of a bug preventing terminal guidance missiles from reacquiring in some conditions. What? Russia gets loads of terminal guidance missiles. They're all on the planes, though, so... The US faction relies on this type of guidance more than Russia, and Javelin missiles with their lower range were particularly effective. Are you telling me that the Javelin should always be able to hit you through the smoke? As a result, US anti-tank capabilities were strongly impacted, resulting in the Russian armored mechanized tactics to become more efficient. Yeah, anyway. The second factor is that the KH-32 missile, which was already identified as a problem in patch 1.0.10, was supposed to be considered a high-altitude projectile and intercepted at longer ranges mistakenly remained a low-altitude target. As a result, these missiles continue to be a low-risk, high-reward option. Yeah, so is that the one that so basically it launches and it immediately sinks to the ground and follows a path along the ground, and that makes it really hard to shoot down. For this patch, we have set ourselves three main objectives. One, reduce the prevalence of cruise and ballistic missiles to refocus the fight more on the front line. Two, reduce the win rate discrepancy between USA and Russia. Rebalance the interest between Russian tank and mechanized specializations. It's interesting that this isn't the first one, but okay. But basically, yeah, people get really annoyed about the fact that the game is literally just about spamming cruise missiles all day. Because you can either wait 3 minutes for your stuff to get to the front line, or you can just buy a cruise missile launcher, launch the cruise missiles from spawn or from a plane, and then sell it. And then you don't have to spend upkeep on your units. Whereas the guy who bought the tank has to spend upkeep on his unit for like 3 minutes before it even gets to the battle, and then while it's there, he's always paying upkeep. It's very frustrating. Changelog added easy anti-cheat, added context messages in-game chat when a player tries to reconnect. You'll be aware if a player tries to reconnect as soon as they click the button instead of after the finish loading. Semicolon. I mean, it doesn't matter, really, but anyway. It's like, do they not read through it? That's what I don't get. They must write it, and then they must read it. And unless they're not reading it, how are they missing all these things? Anyway, general fixes and improvements. Victory points compensation mechanic now compensates 100 points. Now. So basically, the game rewards you for losing if somebody captures more victory points than you, more either they get more kills than you or they get more zones than you. Um, okay, so it's actually less now. So before it was per score. So if it was so if they captured, two, well, I mean it's basically exactly what's written here. So still point me rephrasing it. So it's actually less egregious than it was before, but the game still rewards you for losing. It was in the previous patch, it went up from 60 to 100 to reward you more for losing. So that's nice. Um, no child left behind, right? Fixed an issue preventing players to progress within specialization levels. So yeah, there was some bug that basically, so with the way the customization works, you can rank up US Marines and you'll unlock some new profile pictures, so you can play dress up with them. And same for all the other specs. And apparently sometimes they didn't work. I didn't see that personally. Fixed lobby and post-match screen UI issues when players have reached level 100. Yeah, so this is something I did see. Basically, Broken Arrow's first level 100 player completely broke the the UI just broke, and it was just giving him it was saying you got like infinite kills and stuff like that, and it was messing everything up. When I made that video, there were a lot of people who said you've doctored this. No, no. Well, here's the proof. Anyway, slightly improved performance in skirmish. Okay, pathfinding improvements. This is good, and they have to do it per map, which is interesting. Fixed an exploit allowing non-amphibious units to go into water. So this was another one I showed off. So it's nice to know that they fixed that. Fixed an exploit allowing planes to fly beyond the limits of some maps. Interesting. Fixed a desync when unloaded/loaded units in an objective zone may block zone capture. Oh yeah, I've had this happen. I've had this happen. So there will sometimes there'll just be zones that you can't capture, and it's like, well, what's going on? There's nobody here, and then you're just stuck. And apparently, this is because sometimes if you load or unload units into a transport in that zone, it will just sort of break, and then you just won't be able to. Okay. Fix a desync of radar and hold fire states in some cases. Yeah, because yeah, you would press like turn off radars and it wouldn't work properly. Fixed an issue where SAMs with static radar, such as the Patriot, etc., could move with their radar activated when ordered to resupply. Great. It's probably worth pointing out at this point that so they've said they fixed this every single patch. So just because they say it's fixed doesn't actually mean it's fixed. It's like when they said we fixed the thing letting your units go off the map. You can still do that. I should probably make another video on it, but no, you can still drive your units off the map. Maybe they fixed it this time, but it's not written here, so who knows? Fixed an issue preventing proper reacquiring of terminal guidance missiles. They already listed that, but okay. Fixed an issue when the last vote could decide which map will be played. Alright. Fixed an issue with units ghosts blocking mouse clicks. When the unit is bought but not spawned, but no spawned yet. Interesting. Fixed an issue when a plane could be destroyed when trying to attack a helicopter while having the afterburner turned on. Oh yeah, I've seen this happen. Because it'll dive the helicopter and it'll just smash into the ground. It's pretty funny. Fixed units wrecks always appearing below bridges. I didn't know that happened, but I believe they do block the path thing, so that's kind of important on what's it called, like big oil or oil rig or whatever, the one with the dip in the middle with the big road and multiple bridges going over. There are lots of pathing issues around those bridges and stuff, so maybe this will help that. Fixed an issue preventing messages from appearing in the chat in some cases. Yeah, so if you just like type quick, it doesn't work. So you got to type, because if you press enter and then open it again and type the next message and press enter, it won't send half the time. So you got to wait. So maybe that's fixed now. We'll have to check. Improved hint and icon of disconnected players. It now shows how much time they have left to reconnect. Okay. Fixed an issue preventing disconnected players from being considered as deserters if match ended shortly after they left. Okay. Fixed an issue when missiles from AA with cold launch sequences, such as the S-300 and Tor, hit the ground in close proximity in some cases. I mean, honestly, right, the community staff for this game, not the developers. The developers are like Russians and French, basically. The community guys, they're British. So, you'd expect a certain degree of eloquence, but, well, okay, I mean, depends where in Britain they're from. Fixed an issue when models died inside house stuck at house exits. What? Fix drag and drop move commands in case when mouse button has been released over a unit. Okay. Fixed unload via drag and drop into buildings, leading to infantry being stuck in some cases. Didn't they fix that in the last patch? I'm pretty sure I read this in the last patch. Maybe it's actually fixed this time. Fixed or it might be a slightly different issue. Fixed an issue when units may not capture an objective if there was another hidden objective placed in the same area. Okay, so that's something to do with some solo scenarios, if there's multiple overlapping objectives or stuff like that. Fixed multiple cases of UI issues when joining a lobby. There certainly were a lot of them. Fixed UI issues on the campaign screen. I'm not familiar with those. Fixed hold fire state being removed due to enemy aiming units that weren't visible. Oh, okay, so you can have it before this, assuming this has actually fixed it. You could have a unit with return fire on, and then if an enemy you can't see starts aiming, you will shoot back. So there can be cases where it looks like you're firing first, even though you have return fire on, because you've aimed faster, and it's being triggered because the enemy who you can't see has started aiming on you. So that'll affect like snipers and stuff, recon, but yeah, mainly sniper teams, I guess. Fixed multiple cases of UI issues when joining the lobby, campaign screen, fixed ECM pylons being invisible in some cases. Yeah, so you still can't, because like you don't know what the enemy unit is. You can't just like click on it and read its stuff. So the only way to check is to zoom in on the plane and look at what's under its wings. And sometimes they're invisible anyway. Otherwise you don't know what he's got, what he's going to be dropping, what the unit does. If you're an experienced player, you can make a decent guess because you'll know, this kind of plane can only carry these loadouts, so it's probably this. But no, you can't click on the enemy units and view what weapons they've got. It's really dumb. um, anyway, fixed precision strike, visual feedback staying in place if there is not enough ammo for any attack orders. Okay, yeah, so you could tell something to precision strike and it's like a small white circle appears on the ground saying it'll do it, but it would still do it even if there wasn't any ammo. Okay, nice thing to fix. Added reset to default color option in labels color settings. Yeah, I noticed that wasn't there. Because, yeah, you can change and you should change your default colors for the enemies to make them look more different, so they're not all just like very, very similar shades of red. And yeah, yeah, there was no reset to default. So if you fuck it up, you're kind of stuck. Or you got to ask your friend, what's your settings, you know. Reworked, this is AH1Z, that's the Cobra, right? Yep. It's the Viper, which is like, oh, so it's an improvement on the Cobra, okay. So it's technically not a Cobra hippie. So now it looks better. LOD is level of detail, so basically to improve the performance of the game, you know the model you see in the armory isn't actually the one you see in game. Uh, that's worth saying for the start. It's an up-resed, it's a higher fidelity model, a model with more. How do I explain this? The way models work, 3D models, is basically they're just made up of 3D uh, dots everywhere, which are called vertices. So if you have so even like a circle, it won't actually be a pure circle. What it will be is, and you see if you zoom in on the barrel of a tank gun or something, you'll see this. It's actually just a series of straight lines, made to approximate a circle. So like depending on so if you zoom right in, they will swap out the poor quality model for a high quality model. So the high quality model will have more vertices, right? And then it'll look more like a circle. Whereas if you zoom out, right, your screen's only so big, so you're probably not going to tell that the barrel of the tank actually looks like this now, because that's easier to draw. Because there's only 4 points here to draw to link together, whereas in the close range one there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do you see my point? So that's what a level of detail is. The LODs are different models that basically, because there won't just be two models. It'll be as you zoom in, it'll swap out over and over and over again into more and more high fidelity models. And that's one of the reasons why when you zoom in and out, it lags loads because it has to swap all the models out. The main way to spot this is with the trees. Look at the trees when you zoom in and out. You'll notice. Fixed missing explosion sound effect for the 105mm cluster shell. Okay, I didn't know about that. Removed redundant sounds for. I know that sometimes artillery would land, and I was like, it didn't make any sound, and that my guy would just die, and I wouldn't really notice, and I guess that was it. Removed redundant sounds for some pop-up windows, so that might save you like 1 MB on your install size. Various localization fixes and improvements, that's the translation stuff. Various fixes to PvE scenarios, okay. Updates to the mission editor. Update to the mission editor help page documentation. Okay, so it's easier to learn how it works. And then a bunch of stuff that means absolutely nothing to me. So fix the help. So apparently it could crash if you launch the help page multiple times. The get slot data node now works. I mean, honestly, is there really any point in me reading that out? Probably not. Lua is a scripting language which is used. And yeah, there's improvements to the editor. All 3 people who use the editor will be super happy about that. Let's talk about the balance changes. So, reduce the cruise missile spam meta. And oh, okay, it keeps. I was going to say, are these the only 2 things they've done? But no, this is all the same. So basically, the Tu-22M3, yeah, it's that one. Basically, you should be able to engage the Russian cruise missiles from further away as an American. And yeah, so what they were doing, and I remember speaking to them in the press beta about this, and they were like, no, it's not a problem. Basically, what you do is you just buy the launcher fire the missiles and then sell the launcher, and you pay like you get like it's like it was like an 80% refund. And so you're basically getting the missiles for very, very small point cost. And the people you're competing with who are buying ground units, they're constantly paying upkeep for everything they've got. Whereas your launcher is reloading in a place where you don't have to pay upkeep for it, which is, once you refund it when it goes off into the sky or whatever. So now they've made it so uh, you'll only get 60% of your money back instead of 80%. Great. Planes are unaffected by the global change and receive individual changes instead. Seed missiles have gone up by 33%. Seed missile by 33%. This other seed missile's only gone up by like 20%. 1/5. It's gone up by 20%. Not sure why it's less. Slam ER cruise missile. What the hell was that? Alright, I don't know many people who are using those, but maybe they're meta, who knows. So the American one went up by more. Okay, this is a Russian one. Anyway, JSM cruise missile resupply cost has gone up by 8. The Russian ones have got okay, so these have gone up by 18, which is more. JASM by 5, KH-29 by 15, and KH-32 by 20. So yeah, basically the cruise missiles are still going to happen, and they're still going to kill you, but there won't be as many of them. But I mean, that's not really how it works, right? Because people don't just fire one and then wait and then fire one. You will still get the same wave will still happen to you. It's just it will happen less frequently over the course of a match. So I don't really see that as a fix. I mean, it's still annoying if it happens less often, slightly less often. What is this, like 20% less often? Even 30% less often. Let's say it was happening, 10 times in a game. Now it will happen 7 times in a game. Great. So it's not really fixed it for the people on the receiving end. The guys launching it will notice. Anyway. Cruise missiles launched from planes, aim time increased from 1 to 3 seconds. Okay, so that means that they can't just buy it and immediately shit out all the missiles and leave. Prevents cruise missiles from being fired at the last second to make them impossible to dodge them. The aim time is the delay before shooting a salvo of missiles, not the time between 2 missiles in a salvo. Okay, so isn't it in threes that this one? So not in threes. Either way, the salvos are still going to be coming in, but it'll take them longer to aim, which I guess means you've got a bit more time to shoot them down with a fighter. 2 more seconds. All right. Oh, they reduce the damage of a couple of them. What? They reduce the damage of a couple of them, so that's nice. A pair of KH-59 fired from an Su-57 was able to destroy any vehicle. This was making the use of tanks almost impossible on the US side. Yes, it was. I do recall that problem. So now it will almost kill you instead of killing you. Great. And then they increase the damage of the JSO and the PBK 500 from 7 to 8.5. Smart cluster bombs were almost never used as a pair. Were almost never used as a pair would not even kill an IFV with 14 hit points. The increase of damage to 8.5 allows them to destroy anything with 16 HP with a pair of bombs. So, I mean, this will obviously not kill a tank because this is going down to that value, so it doesn't kill a tank. So this will not kill a tank. But it will kill an IFV, so maybe you'll find some use of your JSOs. I never saw anybody using those, so. The US faction has more cluster bombs than Russia, so this is a soft way to rebalance factions' win rates. They like those soft ways. So far, it's made no difference. In fact, some of them have even made it worse. Okay, so now there's some nerfs for Russia. Wunderbar. Reduce Russian guard tank specialization power. Designers note, all specializations within a faction are linked together, so if one of them is overperforming, all the other specs benefit from it. This is the case of the Russian Guard tank specialization, which is pulling up the win rate of all the other Russian specs, and as a result, the entire Russian faction. Targeting it in particular will allow to rebalance the two factions, but also the balance inside the Russian faction. Barbarous nerfs. Finally. I mean, honestly, people have been complaining about this for ages, and unironically, his response was, you're just bad, bro. You're just a baddie. You're just a bad player. I know it's gone black. It's because I'm trying to find the proof of him saying this, because somebody posted it again today. He was just like, "Alright, well, basically you're just a noob, and that's why you can't deal with it. You're just too newbie, bro." Damn it, where is it? I'm having to scroll a lot. I'll probably do a cut here so you don't have to put up with it. In the extremely small chance that I don't, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and a truly wonderful day. I just can't find it. But now at this point, I'm definitely going to have to do a cut here, man. This is ridiculous. No, I found it. Right, so sorry about that brief cut, but this is literally what he said. He was like, "Oh yeah, well, it's just you're just bad, and once you get good, we'll make it more OP." I mean, crazy, absolutely wild. And well, what do you know? Looks like we were right. So yeah, the Barbarous has been moved to the vehicle tab with an availability of 2. So yeah, the main advantage of the Barbarous, well, okay, apart from all the other advantages, is that it was an infantry transport, which means that as many infantry as you can bring Barbarouses. So people would basically just have an infinite supply of them. Anyway, the 57mm has gone up by 50 points, thus proving how ridiculous it was before this happened. And now you can only get 2 of them as well, so this is a big change. So that's wonderful. And the book is now in the tank spec, and the S300 is in the mech spec. So does that mean that they don't have a book at all anymore? Oh, an S300 at all anymore? I can't remember because oh crap! Now I got to install Easy Anti-Cheat. So this is the new Easy Anti-Cheat screen. As you can see, now it's going to say it. By the way, Hippie was hacking, and I will be doomed forevermore. If it did, I would obviously edit that part out. I'm really good with my editing. So it's just launching, so we'll just keep reading while we're waiting for... Okay, no we won't. So I'll just do a brief cut here while I wait for this to launch. I mean, I'm waiting, so there's no reason for you to wait. So there'll be a cut here. So I'm going to stop speaking because nobody's going to see this. This is the best part of the game, unironically. The fact that you can do this. You see all the planes and stuff bobbing around. It's pretty cool. Anyway. No, it's still loading. So, sorry about that brief intermission there. Anyway, this is the Guard Tank Brigade, which now doesn't have an S300 in it at all. But you always have to bring it with something else, and I suppose if you went Guard VDV, you wouldn't have an S300 at all. And, because yeah, like Moto has an S300, Coastal has an S300, does it? No, it doesn't. I could have sworn these were a bit more widespread. I guess now, you know, Mech has that one. Okay, yeah, I think that's a good change. That's a pretty significant nerf. So, Cornet T reassigned to the mech specialization. Alright, in January, Sturmoviki are in mechs now as well. In January, Sturmoviki squad size reduced from 8 to 7 to fit in BMPs. These guys had their price go up last one as well. And now, regular Sturmoviki are in the Guard tank specialization. And their HP has gone up to 8. They've got another PKP. Their armor's gone down, and their price has gone up. So even though the okay, BMPT Terminator's gone up by 30 points. The grenade launch upgrade's gone up by 20, and the armor's gone up by 10. So now it's going to be, 60 points more for the full package. The BRM 3K has gone up by 5 points. The 57mm plus Attica has gone up by 10, so that'll be the BRM3K again, won't it? As you can see, there's actually not that much in here anymore. So that's this one, yes. So this is more expensive. Yeah, I used to spam the crap out of these. These were really good. So it's good that they've been nerfed. I mean, the fact of the matter is, Russia's had a higher win rate for absolutely ages, so that's nice, isn't it? Armor upgrade's gone up. Kurganets and Boomerang. This is so good, right? The fact that the Boomerang got 4 APS was ridiculous. Although now it's cheaper, so that's a bit dumb. Anyway, I thought the Boomerang was in motorized. I mean, it's not... What? It's in Moto, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, whatever. I mean, the Kurganets isn't, right? The Kurganets Epocha has gone up by 15, so if I recall correctly, that's the one that I bring. Yeah, the 57mm with the Bulat. Good. And then the BMP3 Epocha module has gone up by 10 points. BMP3, I didn't realise that was in the Guard Tank Brigade. I thought that was... well, it's not. BMP3. Yeah, it's not. Okay, whatever. So yeah, that's the Bulat one. So, good, good. Now let's see the US buffs. US faction improvements. Designers note, in comparison, the US faction is much more balanced internally. So basically the win rates of all the specs are closer together than the pick rates. There is not one specialization which is strongly pulling the others up or down. So basically the Special Forces one was doing well. And if you recall, they removed all the F-35s last time and they said they'd add them back. And they haven't added them back. So they must have crashed. Anyway, Javelin, because basically SOF was the only one that had an above 50% win rate, so they nerfed it so that America could still be shit. That was pretty funny. Anyway, Javelin missile minimum range is now 100 meters instead of 200, so goodbye to the people trying to run up to you with a boomerang, because now they get less APS and the minimum range is lower, so you'll be able to shoot them. F-16 CV added option for aim 9 on middle pylons, so F-16 CV. I mean, this is the C, this is the V, but I guess they're saying both of them now. You can add some sidewinders, so there you go. Some lovely sidewinders there. And some lovely sidewinders there. I mean, I'm not sure who's bringing those. Especially given that AMRAAMs now have better terminal guidances. Right, terminal guidance is better now. So I'm not sure what the point in this is. I guess it's better against heal. Yeah, because this one can't shoot at healers. Bradley A2, A2 ESV, A3 ESV, and A2 CFV. Basically, the Bradley's got 5 points cheaper, so that's nice. Slam Ram repurposed as a shore ride unit with the ability to engage helicopter at the cost of a shorter range against planes. Slam Ram. I was gonna say, like, no, I saw some people bringing this, but in general they weren't that great. So now these AMRAAMs can shoot at helicopters, which is interesting. And it's now cheaper, but it's got less range. Oh yeah, I mean, what kind of AMRAAMs are... So AMRAAM... What the heck is that? It's like a helmet on a stick. Anyway, that's not great at all. I don't know why anybody would bring that. I mean, these are AMRAAMs, and they don't... They go 1,650 meters against high-altitude planes. It's dog shit, man. I don't... If you want to bring that, be my guest, but I don't understand why you'd bring that instead of the Avenger. Because, like, it's cheaper, and the ranges are about the same, and, you know, now it's the same price, but it's got 16 and they're fire and forget, so it can just shit them out. And, you know, for 200 meters range, I mean, I guess this does more damage, right? This one can also fire on the move, it's faster, so it's very slightly less armor, but it's like, who cares? And you can put smoke on this. Can you put smoke on this? No. I don't know why. Maybe. I'm sure somebody will bring it. Let me know how it goes. Anyway, the Slam Ram got a bit cheaper, the 6 AMRAMs got cheaper, and the AMRAM plus AIM got cheaper. With the Patriot split between 3 specs in last patch, we can repurpose the Slam Ram into a different role without removing a vital anti-plane asset from many decks. It will now act as some kind of OSA or Tor equivalent instead of a Buck equivalent. So Airborne's getting fucked, basically. Because now, what's Airborne's longest range AA? I guess it's still that, right? Except now it's just shit. Alright, have fun with that, Airborne players. Anyway, new customization for the Centurion, the RIM 116C RAM. With 11 fire and forget missiles and a radar to increase their engagement range, this is another strong buff to US shore-ride capabilities. So, which deck gets that? C-RAM. Striker Cavalry Regiment now gets the RIM. And these are the missiles, and I'm not sure what a RIM is, but it's got very poor range, so it's a worse Slam Ram. All right. What? It's just worth. I mean, the fire and forget, which is nice. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Great. I mean, what, 70 points more for... Yeah, wow. Looks cool, though. Tank side armor compression. Tank side armor heat values have been compressed to make side shots from infantry RPGs more efficient. So the Abrams got nerfed because we need to nerf America because it's doing so badly. And then the T-Series also got nerfed by more, actually. So there you go. Actually, this is 250. No, this is 150. What the hell am I smoking? Yeah, and this is 200, whereas this is, you know, this is 50, right? This is 100, this is 150, this is 200, and this is 200, and this is 200. Yeah, underused unit / customization buffs and various fixes. Razvedka squad's got a PKM machine gun replacing one of their AKM rifles. Okay. Great. They got a... Not that one, apparently. This one. So, yeah, Mech Razvedka. Yeah, you didn't see it very often. I mean, this has to be stood still to shoot. In general, I mean, they're not that amazing. I'm not sure how much of a difference that's actually going to make, but there it is. And the Giant S fire rate increased, so that's... It's interesting that there's RNG in it. Oh no, this is like the panicked one, so it's gone down by 1 second between shots. The MiG-35 got an R-73 option for the middle pylons. The MiG-35. Listen, if it was made after 1989, I don't know anything about it, basically. Because that's when Wano is set. R-35s. Was it R-35s? R-73s? Yeah, okay, so you can have it as like a haha anti-helo, 300-point anti-helo attempt, if you want. Okay. Fix the amount of shotgun shells for Force Recon. Okay, they apparently only have 10 shotgun shells. I didn't know that. I was using them. No wonder they kept dying. So, yeah, you can use them as Black Ops and run them in and shoot people. But generally you don't have to, because USMC gets loads of options for doing that. That's why nobody bothers with it, because like Marine Raiders are really good at doing it generally, and you know, regular Marines are not bad at doing it either because they're a massive squad. Obviously, Marine Raiders are like the gold standard for it. Force Recon, I mean, you know, generally people run them as Green Ops, I think, because you got Marine Raiders for Black Ops. Then again, you can run this as standoff if you want, but there's no point in doing that because then the regular Marines do that. So why would you do that? Anyway, maybe more people use the Force Recon. And then the KA-52K got just 23 pods to the inner pylon. KA-52K, Katran and Coastal. So this is Yeah, the one everybody brings with the cruise missiles. So, I mean, this is a good option because it's cheaper, so you can bring the cruise missiles more cheaper now. Great! Woohoo! So yeah, cheaper cruise missiles for Russia. The Russian default deck has been changed from motorized mechanized to coastal mech. Bro, what? If you're new at the game and haven't made a deck, we're gonna make your life absolutely miserable. Yeah. As an experiment. Thanks for playing, dummy. We sincerely ask us. I thought I said apologize. Anyway, we got some propaganda YouTube video here. We might as well watch that. Average broken arrow player sound effects. That was pretty cool. Average American serviceman there. I mean, it seems like a cool mode. If you guys want me to play it, let me know and I'll do a live stream one day where I play the new zombies mode. This is like the first actual content that they've added, right? You know what I mean? Like they've added like a couple units here or there, but this is probably the first major thing. So yeah, that's it. I mean, if you enjoyed the video, please do let me know. Please do let me know. Yeah, it's always worth reading some comments. This guy again. We need you DLC, China. And he is Chinese because his lobby name's Chinese, and he's called China, and he's got the face of China as his face. And yeah, killed SOF Airborne. Yeah, exactly. So they took those F-35s out, and they were like, "Oh, we'll put them back in," and they just didn't. And now like SOF Airborne has no long range AA. No, actually, no, it gets a Patriot now, as of last patch, right? Because no, they don't. Oh, that's AIDS, man. Although, to be honest, what kind of numpty was playing SOF Airborne to begin with? But yeah, they lost all their planes, and now they've lost their long-range AA as well, so oh, wow, they're absolutely screwed, man. Well, if you're an Airborne SOF player, do let me know, and I'll see you around.